Hello folks and welcome. Voyager 23.04, the latest version as of April of 2023. This actually contains two desktops, the GNOME desktop and the Xfce desktop. It installs both of them. So I'll have two file managers to pick from, the GNOME file manager and also Thunar. And I could do this particular video or job using both. So today I am going to be talking about mouse pointer or mouse cursors. I'm going to be using a special one here in a second, and more importantly I'm going to show you how to install the mouse cursor or pointer, and also how to install that and pick it from the two different desktops from both GNOME and Xfce, because activating them is a little differently, but they install the same way. And I'm going to use the file manager just about for this whole job. So welcome folks. Today I'm filming in 1920 by 1080. If you need to adjust your particular YouTube player, then do so. Hit pause or stop and click on that gear symbol on your player and adjust your video resolution accordingly. I normally only film in two modes, 1080 or 4K. This is 1080 today. So that also has a lot bearing on the mouse pointer or cursor size also. I'll talk about that as we go, and I'll say welcome. None of my videos are less than 2 minutes, but they all have timelines and chapters. I do encourage that you read the About section, and also check out my community tab for doing keyword searches on other videos. Now, what I'm going to do is open up the file manager, and this file manager is GNOME. You can also use Thunar because both of them get installed. So I have something turned on that normally is not there, and that is hidden files. Show hidden files. You can also resize icons my way, or you can resize icon the system way. If you've seen any of my videos, you probably know what I'm doing right now. All I'm doing is holding down the control key while using my USB-based computer mouse scroll wheel to scroll up and down while holding down that control key. If you got a touchpad, you may want to try that also by holding down the control key and using two fingers to slide up and down to resize icons. That's not the reason I brought you in here. Control H is what I wanted to produce to show hidden files and folders. That particular folder is of interest. We're going to be playing with the whole video, or I'm going to be showing you the whole video. If you don't have the dot icons folder, you can create it yourself. New folder, start with a dot or a period, icons, lowercase, dot icons. This one already exists. What I have in here is one theme. It's called Radioactive, and I'm going to pick it right now. So since this is a dual desktop distribution, if you're curious about the QR code, you can get out your smartphone. Hopefully you're watching this on a non-mobile device. Take out your mobile phone and open up your camera and point it at that thing. It should go directly to Voyager's website, not mine, Voyager. I do have my own QR code on my YouTube site also in the community tab. That's another animal. But more importantly, this is one of those distributions that has two desktops, and all I got to do is log out and I can log into the Xfce desktop. And by the way, the GNOME desktop has two versions, the X11 and also the Wayland window manager, just as an FYI, in addition to the Xfce desktop. But the file manager is Thunar in that one. So let's open up terminal for a second. And I can activate Thunar from here. So Thunar is normally used on your Xfce distributions for the main file manager. Okay, you can see that right here. It says Xfce desktop environment. But the dot icons folder is the same, and so is everything else in here. So basically that's just what I wanted to point out at you. All right, so we have the dot icons folder sitting in here. And we have Radioactive. So this is a mouse theme or mouse cursor. And it's formulated properly, and I'll talk about this extensively because a lot of your Linux distributions or distros also have automated methods of installing themes in some cases, and also mouse cursors. And some of them don't install properly because of the fact that the developers of these mouse cursors or themes sometimes compress them differently. And then when you have the automated systems uncompress them, they fail to install. That's why I'm using a file manager to do the installations. And I have a 99.8% success rate. I've been doing this for many years. I'll tell you what to look for as we move forward. Okay, so dot icons is where we want these guys. How do I pick this in the GNOME desktop versus Xfce? Now that's a different animal. For me to change to the radioactive mouse cursor, mouse pointer, as some people call it, in the GNOME desktop you use tweaks. In the Xfce desktop, you're going to be using the settings, mouse and touchpad, and there'll be a tab for themes, and you'll click that, and then you'll see your selection of your mouse cursors. Then you can select it and also look for the size. The size difference is done in a different location. In this distribution, it is under, sorry, not the calendar, under that gear symbol, under the accessibility options, under seeing, under cursor size. That's where you change the size of the cursor. But that's not where you select the cursor. You use tweaks for that. So let me open up tweaks. It should already be installed on your system. And it may look different to you depending on if you work with other GNOME distributions. Maybe, maybe not. This is GNOME tweaks. In addition to like title bars and moving the buttons from left to right, you also have appearance cursors. Currently, there's nothing selected because I'm using a default mouse pointer. But this is what you have currently installed, and I have one more theme installed, which is called Radioactive. This one. This is installed in the dot icons folder. These are installed elsewhere. I'll talk about that in a second. Okay, these are installed in the USR share icons folder, which is protected by root permissions. This one's not. This is something you can affect and install rather easily. The dot icons folder. So let's focus in on that for a second. So where do I get extra mouse pointers? Let's talk about that. So you can go to my own YouTube site and whatever, and basically click on or find my, if you're a subscriber, you should already have this, but you can go and look for my YouTube site, or you can punch in @Linux for Seniors, one word, into your search field on your web browser, and you'll find my channel right away. If you're using a standard web browser, click the foot down here. If not, go to the About section and look for gnome-look.org, and then open that. Or you can just handwrite this website down right now. That's fine. I'm just sharing information, folks. That's all I'm doing here. Cursors, 792. Okay. If I'm looking for this specific one here, this is called Radioactive. So I'm going to use the search field at the top, RADIO. And it's this one right there. It's called Radioactive. You'll see it's exactly identical. All right. So I don't really use the installation keys or any of that stuff when I get into the files, but I wanted to leave the product one open for a second because I'm going to discuss something important. Not the compression part. I'm talking about where the location is stored. The dot icons folder is what I've been showing you. And that is the reference to that. Your home folder dot icons is where you can install your mouse pointers without any permission issues. If you install them here, you will have to have root permissions to install any of these mouse cursor themes in here. The USR share icons folder is protected by root permissions. They're called system-wide installation. In other words, whatever user gets for mouse pointers. Let me open up tweaks for a second. Too many clicks. Anyways, these here are installed in that location. These breeze cursors, and the only one that's not installed there is this one, the one I'm currently using. Everything else, that one is installed in that location. Where's my website? That one's installed here in the USR share icons folder. Do you want me to prove that to you? Let me go and open up your filing system, or the filing system for this distribution under share. And I'm just going to scroll for the eyes. Okay, somewhere in here is icons. Too far down. Here we go. And this is called, where's my tweaks? This is called red glass. So let me minimize that. Let's find the R's. That's this one right here. That is this mouse pointer that I'm currently pointing at. That's the folder for it. Okay. Now, so that one is installed in user share icons. The other one that I have installed is installed in dot icons, which is your home folder. I thought I had it open. Closed it too quickly. That's radioactive. So let me reactivate that one and close that box. And I am going to talk about the download folder, and then we're going to download some themes. Okay, so first of all, I am going to go back to my dot icons folder and create another box over here, just to make it simple. New window, in other words. And I'm going to bring up the download folder, which is currently empty. So let's go find some themes that are not the ones that I already have. So let's go back to cursors, and why don't we do this by ratings? So what I'm going to be looking for is something large, because I'm using 1080 today for a screen resolution. So that one probably would work, 24 through 64. And I'll go to page 2. And I already have this one, and I'll show that one actually in the red, because it has a blue and a red. But this one is non-resizable. And it also makes a reference to your dot icons folder right there. But what I'm going to do here is, that one's 64 through 24, so let's use that one. It shows me all the fancy things that it can do. It's one file. I don't use any of this stuff. I download the file specifically. Now this one is compressed in tarbz2. You will find that a lot of files are compressed differently. That is one of the reasons that the automated installers for a lot of Linux distributions will fail some cursor themes. That's why I use file managers exclusively for this job, because I have a 99.8% success rate. I haven't ran into actually one mouse cursor I have not been able to install. All right, that one is completed. That was 458 kilobytes. It's hardly anything to talk about. So let me go back, and I will download another theme. Let's find something with a rather large size. Oh, here's a 96. Okay, let's try that one. Looks like a dark and a light theme, one file. Goes from 24 to 96. Again, this is the size of the pointer. I believe that's a 96 you're currently looking at. So 24 would be rather small. All right, it's in a zip format. So now you can see there's different ways these folks have compressed things. That's okay. We can still deal with this, because just about every file manager in Linux can uncompress different ways. So that's in Tartar. This one is in .zip. Okay, that one's 2.9 megabytes. So that means it's got more themes inside of that folder. Okay. Let's go take a look at these. Now I have 2 downloads. Let's do the skirm first. I'm going to right-click and extract it, and I'm going to first take a look at the folder. All I'm looking for is a cursor folder, and normally I'm looking for an index theme. If it has a cursor theme also, that's great. If not, the index theme is what I care about after you look at the main folder name. So that way I can just drag it and drop it. I know this one will work. And how to prove that, I will go now over to tweaks and take a look at that particular mouse theme by opening this up and selecting it through this menu. That's this one right here. Okay, so let me switch this back to radioactive and close this. Now let's uncompress this one. Extract. And that is not formulated properly. This will not even display if I drag that whole folder in there. But I'll do it anyways, just to let you see it. And then I want to fix it for you. And I'll show you what I'm looking for. So I'm going to drag the whole thing. And this is how most people will do this and make a mistake. And this is one of the reasons that the automated installers sometimes fail, because they don't look inside these folders correctly. Because there's no index theme here. So what I'm going to do is open up Tweaks. You can now see 3 folders in here. One of them is called mock-u something. And I'm going to open up Tweaks. And I'm going to try to get it on the same screen so you can see both of these. And then I'm going to hit the appearance. So you see radioactive here. You see the skirm here. And I'm looking for this mock-u X cursor. It's not here. And the reason it's not here is because this is not formulated properly. The way that the system looks at these folders, it wants to see this file right here. There's an index theme there. That's why it's working. This one, it doesn't have an index theme unless I go under the second subfolder. Now it's here. And so is that one. But the system can't see it yet. Now there's 2 ways I can fix this. I can just take all the folders out of here and put them in the primary .icons folder, or I can get rid of the primary folder and start from scratch. So let me do that. Let me just go back into the .icons folder and get rid of this whole thing, all in one shot. Trash can. And then I'm gonna uncompress this thing and open this up. And then take these folders that have the index theme, one at a time or all of them at the same time. It doesn't matter. I'll just drag a box around all these and drag these all at once over to here. I leave the README alone. Okay, so I don't really care about that one, but I do care about these. Now I'm going to open up Tweaks. And now I should be able to select all of them. Okay, I'm using skirm currently, so we can switch back to radioactive if you like. Make it bigger and yellow for you. What I'm looking for is the mock-u left, right, and the white left, right. Scroll to the top. There it starts with mock-u black left. That's this one. The right is that one. The white left is that one. And the right is that one. I can also get rid of these things rather quickly. So if I have nothing in my trash, which I'm going to just empty the trash out right now and go back to this folder. Let's say I don't want any of these mock-u whatever. Okay, so I can individually delete them or delete all 4 of them if I want. So I can do all 4 at the same time. Throw them in my trash. I need to close this first and reopen it. Why do I need to reopen that? So it does a refresh. You will see nothing in here for that mock-u whatever it is now. They'll all be gone. Just like it was badly formulated, but it's not. You'll see no mock-u whatever in here. There's none of that in here. But the cool thing about throwing stuff in your trash can is you can restore them rather easily. Now all 4 of them are back online. And again, I need to close and reopen. And now all those mock-u, whatever their name were again, they're back online. So that's how you can do easy maintenance is what I call that. You can use your file manager for doing all this work. Let me do one more. So again, I don't really care about that one right there. It's gone. And I have some additional ones that I downloaded from that same website into a different folder. And some of the different types, that's TarGZ, TarBZ2. This will be Tartar, and this is TarGZ and also TarGZ. Let me use the Night Diamond Red Tar and uncompress that, because this particular one is one of those mouse cursors that is actually only one size. So let's open the folder. It's got an index theme and a cursor, so we're good to go. I need to put it in the proper folder. So my .icons is, where did it go? Right there. So let's drag this guy into here. And Night Diamond Red is ready for me to pick. So Tweaks it is. Open up Mr. Tweaks. minimize, appearance, and we're looking for night diamond red. All right, so I'm going to make mention of something right now. First of all, every developer that develops mouse themes or any themes in general should also never be looked upon or downgraded upon and say this is a bad mouse theme or a bad theme in general, because they all have different ways of looking at things. This particular mouse theme may not work in 4K, but it would be great in 800 by 600 is what I'm getting at. So never take anything away from these developers when it comes down to these mouse themes. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that someone else doesn't either, or someone else likes the theme, in other words. Because I particularly think every theme is valid to any system. It just depends on, is it usable by you as the user? Do you like it? Do you like the size of it? That kind of thing. All right, do you remember what I said earlier, what I'm filming in? I'm trying to click that little gear symbol there. Keep getting the calendar in the way here. You click out one more time. There we go. All right, so I am filming in 1080. This particular mouse cursor probably wouldn't look very good in 3840 by 2160. It'll probably be too small, but it would be very large in 800 by 600. So everything is relative to your screen's resolution. Now let me talk about the size of this pointer, this cursor. Cursor size. There's the smallest, you see no change, and the largest, no change. The reason for that is because this particular one, the developer said, I don't want this to be resized. They developed it that way. So it's a non-resizable mouse cursor. There are a lot of those out there. So this is one of them. That's one of the reasons I threw that example out. It still makes it a great mouse cursor though. It does tricks, it glows. You can probably see it pulsating right now. Or maybe you can't, depending on your screen resolution on your computer. But more importantly, I'm going to switch this over back to radioactive and point this out to you one more time. That's the smallest cursor size for this radioactive mouse cursor. This is the largest. So when you are shopping around for your mouse cursors, you may want to check into, is it resizable? Is that important to you? Are you running a lower screen resolution? Maybe that's not that important to you. If you're running this in 800 by 600, this particular one would be jumbo. It would be twice as big as it is right now. And you'd probably have to reduce it in here. So if I'm running in a screen resolution of 800 by 600, I probably want to be in this range in here. But since I'm running this in almost 4K, I'm running this in 1080, I probably like this size better. Again, it's a preference thing. But more importantly, this is how you can install several of these cursors into the .icons folder. Whether you do this in here, or if you're using the Xfce desktop and you use Thunar to create the .icons folder and install the mouse themes in here. It doesn't matter. The picking, the activating of the mouse cursor or mouse theme is done differently in GNOME versus Xfce desktops. In GNOME, you're using tweaks. In the Xfce desktop, you're using the settings, mouse and touchpad, and clicking on that themes tab, and then selecting your appropriate mouse cursor, and then also checking the size. That's the difference. But the file managers, they install the same way. And you also do what I call maintenance the same way. If I don't like a particular mouse cursor or pointer, I click on it and I hit the delete key. It goes into the trash can. And I can also change my mind and do a restore. It's treated just like any other file or folder, except I'm doing all the work in here. And if the mouse cursor theme doesn't work, do yourself a favor. Does it have an index theme? Does it have another subfolder? And the index theme is in the subfolder. If that's the case, then copy the subfolder all the way back out to the .icons folder, so the system can look at it properly. so the system can look at it properly. That's the big difference. So again, whether you use the Xfce desktop or the GNOME desktop for this distribution of Voyager, it doesn't matter. The file manager operates the exact same way as far as installing mouse cursors. It is the activation of the mouse cursor that's different. One more time, in GNOME it is tweaks. In the Xfce desktop, it's settings, mouse and touchpad. And then the last tab, I believe, is called themes. Thank you for watching.